You know, usually when we talk about a medical diagnosis, there's this expectation of precision. Like you break your arm, the x-ray shows a jagged white line, and the doctor just points and says, there it is.
Right. It's binary. It's comforting, honestly. We really like things to be visible.
Yeah, exactly. But step into the human mind, and that x-ray machine is just completely useless. Today, we're taking a deep dive into that murky territory.
And we've got a really fascinating stack of sources for you today. We're looking at Eckhart Tolle's massive bestseller, The Power of Now, along with some deep dive blog critiques and some pretty perceptive Reddit threads about where these ideas actually come from.
Right, so our mission today is to unpack the 10 core chapters of this book. We want to figure out how it became a toolkit for millions to quiet the noise in their heads and, well, why some critics think it might actually be a psychological trap.
So to understand this phenomenon, we really shouldn't start with the philosophy itself. We actually need to start on a park bench in London.
Oh man, this origin story is wild.
It really is. So at age 29, Ulrich Tolle, who later went by Eckhart, was intensely depressed, suicidal even. And he had this desperate, looping thought, which was, I cannot live with myself.
Which triggered a logic puzzle that completely broke his reality.
Right, because he realized, wait, if there is an I and a self that I cannot live with, are there two of me?
Wow. Just from that one thought.
Yeah, it created this profound split. He realized the voice in his head, the ego, wasn't him. His mind literally stopped, and he spent much of the next 2 years sitting on that park bench in a state of blissful presence.
Which perfectly explains his vibe today. I mean, if you watch his lectures, he sits motionless in a sweater vest, radiating this profound anti-charisma. He's like a Trappist Mr. Rogers.
That is a perfect description.
But millions tune in, including Oprah, right? Because he answers a question we all struggle with, like, if I'm not my racing thoughts, what am I? Which I guess brings us to the first few chapters of the book.
Exactly. Chapters 1 through 5 really lay the groundwork here. Chapter 1 establishes that you are not your mind. You're the silent awareness behind those thoughts.
Okay, but then why do we get so trapped by them?
Well, Chapter 2 introduces the pain body. This is a big one. He frames our emotional baggage almost like a literal parasite. It's the accumulation of your past emotional pain, and it feeds on negativity.
Oh, so when I pick a stupid fight over, I don't know, how the dishwasher's loaded, that's not really me. That's the pain body ordering a snack.
Yes, exactly that. And then chapters 3 through 5 explain how the ego uses distraction and worry to keep you trapped in the past or the future. Basically, anything to avoid the absolute present moment. Because in the true now, a state of calm and clarity, the ego just has nothing to react to.
Okay, so now is the only place life actually exists.
Yeah.
But recognizing that trap is one thing, right? Escaping it is a whole different story.
Right, and Tolle offers specific mechanisms for this.
Yep.
Chapter 6 suggests focusing intensely on your inner body to stay present.
Like, let's make that real for the listener. Say you're spiraling about a massive work deadline. Tolle is saying you snap out of it by literally bringing your attention to the physical sensation in your hands, feeling the blood pulse.
Precisely. Because your mind cannot simultaneously panic about tomorrow and fully feel the aliveness in your hands right now. And Chapter 7 expands on this with portals, like observing pure silence or empty space.
It forces a wedge between you and your thoughts.
Exactly. And Chapters 8 and 9 apply this to life. When you carry that presence into your relationships, you stop reacting from a defensive, ego-driven place. And you find a lasting peace that goes way deeper than just, temporary happiness.
Right, but here's where I hit a wall with his framework. Chapter 10 focuses entirely on surrender. Honestly, doesn't surrendering just mean giving up?
A lot of people ask that.
Like if your house is on fire, you don't just sit there and accept the warmth. You become a passive robot to life's problems.
That's the most common misunderstanding, for sure. Tolle defines surrender not as weakness, but as unconditionally accepting what is right now.
Okay, so accepting the reality of the flames in this exact second without the angry internal resistance.
Yes. You drop the inner tantrum of, this shouldn't be happening. And once you do that, your subsequent action to grab the fire extinguisher is clear and focused, rather than fueled by anxiety.
So you act from clarity. I get that. But looking at our sources, this absolute rejection of mental noise has drawn some pretty sharp criticism. The blog, Sifting to the Truth, argues Tolle unfairly demonizes negative emotions.
Yeah, it's a vital critique. Tolle treats negativity almost exclusively as this pain body parasite, or just ego noise.
But what if those negative emotions carry profound messages? Like anxiety or anger often tell us what we deeply want, or they signal when our boundaries are crossed.
Right, exactly. And the critique argues that they can even be transformed into beautiful art By dismissing all negativity, we might be robbing ourselves of an essential human feedback loop.
We're treating a fire alarm like a nuisance instead of a warning. And there's another layer here, too. Observers on Reddit point out that these concepts separating the observer from the thought, they aren't exactly new.
No, not at all. They heavily mirror ancient Eastern traditions, specifically Buddhism and Advaita Vedanta.
Wait, Advaita Vedanta, that's the philosophy of non-dualism, right? The idea that the universe and the self are one unified consciousness.
You got it. But the critique highlights some philosophical contradictions because Tolle mixes dualistic and non-dualistic concepts, and he deliberately avoids Hindu terminology.
Like karma or reincarnation.
Exactly. He packaged these ancient concepts into a secular psychological format that easily slips past the defenses of a modern Western audience.
Wow, that is brilliant packaging. Well, we've gone from a London park bench to breaking down Tully's 10 core steps for achieving presence, all while holding space for the real blind spots in his methods.
The mind is definitely murky. It can't be mapped perfectly, even by a massive bestseller.
True. The Power of Now offers a compelling toolkit for quieting that noise in your head. But we want to leave you with this final thought to chew on today.
Oh, this is a good one.
If your mind is just a tool and your true self is the silent watcher observing those thoughts, who is the one noticing the watcher?